Hi everyone, so shock horror, this is going to be a hair tutorial, and I wore my hair up in kind of like a messy top knot bun a couple of videos ago, and loads of you asked me if I could please show you how to do a tutorial of it. So being the dutiful YouTuber that I am, I'm going to attempt it. I'm not sure how well it's going to go, because if you've got curly hair you will know that if you try and make it do something, it generally tends to do the opposite of what you want it to do. So I'm going to try anyway, and the first thing I did was on dry hair I applied a little bit of a kind of texturizing spray. This is the Charles Worthington salt spray. You can use whatever texturizing spray you like, just to kind of add a little bit of texture into your hair, and I kind of scrunched it up and just gave it a bit more volume and a little bit more just a little bit more of a rough texture, so you've got more to play around with. Then I know that the kind of standard way of doing a top knot is doing it with a hair scrunchie, but if I try and do it with just a plain hairband, it won't support my hair, so I have to use something like this. I probably should have used a black one because my hair's dark, but this was just what I had. So you could do it with this. I prefer doing it with clips. I've got kind of different size clips here. You have the kind of standard smaller ones and then a couple of larger ones, and I find it works better for my hair if I do it with a clip. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my hair and kind of hold it on top of my head like this, and then just kind of try and create a loose-ish kind of messy effect bun. So something like that is how you would do a classic top knot. But I kind of think that when you've got curly hair it looks a little bit severe. You need something a little bit softer. So what I tend to do is I tend to just mess up my hair, grab it all and just try and kind of scrunch it all down into something resembling a bun, even though it's quite messy. Because I find with curly hair, kind of the messier you try and do and updo, the better. I just think it looks nicer. So I'm just going to kind of hold that in with a clip for a moment while I play around with the shape of it. So obviously you've got bits sticking out everywhere, which you can then just adjust with your clip. But you don't want to make the shape too severe. You want to kind of try and let it kind of look a little bit more natural. So I like to kind of just pull it out a little bit, get it to kind of rest on top of your head, and then you kind of end up with like a little beehive effect thing, which I don't always like. Sometimes I don't mind it, but it's not always what you want. So then I'll just kind of loosen up the front sections. So pull them out of the clip to just kind of create a softer effect. And I know a lot of people like to kind of get little bits out around the face. I don't tend to always do this. I tend to only ever wear this look if I'm just going somewhere unimportant like the supermarket. But to just kind of pull bits around your kind of face and around your ears to just kind of soften up the look a little bit. Then you can sometimes get a little bit too much. You just have to clip that back in. So like that, and you want to make sure the clip's clipped in really securely, otherwise it'll just go everywhere. But keep pulling little bits out around your ears and kind of like the baby hair thing. I think that looks really nice when you've got your hair up. I think it just kind of softens the look a little bit. But if you want to kind of get the look to just go a little bit higher and be a little bit more even, you can just add another smaller clip, which is what I'm going to do right here because I'm not happy with the shape of it. So once you've kind of got it like that, you get these kind of little bits around the sides, which you can kind of apply a little bit of like hair wax or some sort of tamer or something like that. But I would probably leave it at that. You can kind of just adjust the volume of the actual hair that's in the bun, if you know what I mean. I know this tutorial isn't particularly helpful. I'm sorry, I'm really bad with hair tutorials. I'm really bad with hair generally. But I kind of feel like there's no kind of set method of doing this as well. You just need to kind of play around with it and see what you think looks good on your hair type, because especially if your hair's curly, one day it can look like this and another day it can look like that, and if you're trying to create a certain look, then it can just all go wrong, and the technique that you used yesterday might not work today. But that's kind of what I would do. I know it kind of looks a little bit crazy and a little bit messy, but I quite like that. And if you are someone who has got a kind of special technique that works every time of doing this, then definitely let us know, because it would be very, very helpful. But again, as I said, you just need to kind of tweak it and play around with it, and try and just kind of find a way that you feel is the most flattering for your face. Because to me, I know that because my face is quite round, I need quite a lot of volume around the kind of top part of my head, and I can't kind of wear like a scraped back version of it, if you know what I mean. But I hope you found this helpful. I know it's kind of a complete disaster really, but so many of you asked me to do it, so I just thought I'd show you. It's just very, very easy. You just really need to kind of play around with it, but I don't tend to kind of do the classic loop because I feel like that ruins the texture of your curls. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.